With the advancement of technology and the constant improvement of console and PC capabilities, the experience of shooter games is becoming increasingly realistic. In addition to the visual aspect, the gameplay of shooters is also evolving significantly. More complex mechanics, enhanced artificial intelligence, and more realistic interactions promise to provide a more challenging gaming experience. So in today's video, I bring you 10 realistic shooters you can't miss.
On station number 1.
Starting the list with The Grass of Genesis, a game that seems to combine Cyberpunk 2077 and Tomb Raider. The new title is presented with the powerful Unreal Engine 5, promising an unprecedented gaming experience. Inspired by the intense narrative and action of Tomb Raider, especially the darker and more recent reboot, the game introduces a young heroine facing challenges in imposing underground environments. This thrilling adventure is enhanced with the futuristic and technologically advanced aesthetics of Cyberpunk 2077, bringing an innovative dimension to the action-adventure genre. The combination of these two universes promises not only exciting action and exploration, but also an engaging narrative that captures the essence of both games. The Grass of Genesis is already generating high expectations in the gaming community, eager to explore this hybrid world full of challenges, mysteries, and epic confrontations. Project LLL is an open-world MMO shooter, set to be released in 2024 for consoles and PC. The game discusses the use of technology by society and takes the concept of science fiction into alternative and coexisting stories. In the campaign, a post-apocalyptic Seoul, a 10th-century Byzantine Empire, and the 23rd century coexist and compete for the dominance of advanced and unlimited technologies. Ambitious Project LLL is revealed as a reinvention of the first-person shooter category. The idea is to provide a title that is completely distinct from conventional looter shooters and battle royales. Its gameplay features fast movements and plenty of action, relying on the most advanced rendering technology to ensure a procedural creation experience. Den of Wolves emerges as an exciting promise in the futuristic shooter universe, brought to life by 10 Chambers, the same team behind the acclaimed Payday and GTFO series. Announced at the Game Awards 2023, the title promises an immersive and detailed experience, combining elements of science fiction with intense action. The game is set in the year 2097, in a world where artificial intelligence dominates and controls almost every aspect of human life, especially the global economy. The city of Midway, however, emerges as a bastion of freedom, operating in an isolated and unregulated network based on neurosystems. This scenario serves as a backdrop for a series of industrial espionage missions and heists, where major corporations hire mercenaries to invade and steal information from their competitors.
It's who? You see, just like me, you're caught here. You're caught in the den of wolves.
The single-player campaign of Star Citizen, named Squadron 42, has become somewhat of an industry legend. Announced in 2012, the game mode has not yet been released, but now it is very close to finally coming to fruition. Squadron 42 was born alongside Star Citizen in a crowdfunding campaign in 2012. With over 34,000 contributors, the project raised over $2 million on Kickstarter, generating high expectations ever since. However, both titles have faced several delays over the past decade, leading the studio to go through a long period without updates. A new trailer, over 20 minutes long, was also revealed, showcasing various gameplay elements and some of the Hollywood stars in the game's cast, including Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, and Gillian Anderson. Following the Grand Xbox Games Showcase, Microsoft and Activision revealed all the details about the highly anticipated Call of Duty Black Ops 6 with a series of novelties. The game promises to be one of the biggest releases of the year, bringing an ambitious campaign, significant gameplay updates, the return of the zombies mode, and much more. Set in the early 90s, The game brings back Frank Woods, now in a wheelchair, as the mentor of the new character Troy Marshall and his team. Russell Adler also returns to the series. The campaign promises more open missions, with different ways to achieve objectives, some without the need for combat. For example, it will be possible to solve scenarios through dialogue. The game also introduces a new campaign hub, the Safe House, where players return between missions. With the highly anticipated sequel, S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chernobyl, set to be released in September, this is the best time to dip your toes into these radiation-contaminated waters and see why there is so much excitement. The S.T.A.L.K.E.R franchise games have always met expectations when it comes to art direction and atmosphere, but game technology has advanced significantly since 2009. Heart of Chernobyl is being developed in Unreal Engine 5, which means it will make full use of modern resources to deliver the most detailed version of the zone yet. This includes advanced motion capture and photogrammetry, giving the zone an authentic look captured from real life.
Усі ці жертви, усі ці смерті. Який в них сенс? Зона така, якою бачиш її ти.
We have seen impressive tech demos using the new Unreal Engine 5. We know that great games are being developed on Epic Games' graphics engine, but Project M will leave you in awe with the realism that South Korean NCSoft is achieving in its new game. Project M will be a game in the style of Detroit Become Human or any other Quantic Dream title, with a focus on cinematic narrative. The game will have moments of choices and action with buttons to be pressed depending on the decision. The quality of motion capture and visual realism with textures that practically simulate real life are very impressive and even confuse the unwary.
아니, 만약에 말이야. 그럼 내가 복수해줄까?
아니.
아니야?
하지 마. 난 이미 죽었다며. 그럼 차라리...
Unrecord has already become an internet urban legend, with many not believing that it will ever be released. It is an FPS developed by the independent producer Drama. In the famous game trailer, you can see the protagonist, a kind of tactical police officer, invading an abandoned building and exchanging shots with censored suspects. The plot could be considered common for the genre if it weren't for the impressive graphics and a unique perspective, from a lapel camera giving it another weight. Thus, both the game's realism and the police theme have sparked various controversies, such as the veracity of the production and the impact of the presented violence. Naturally, all this buzz has made users even more curious about the game. Project Z Beyond Order is an FPS set in World War II. The game will feature a good series of playable characters, each with unique characteristics, which should make the gameplay quite diverse. Additionally, it will be possible to customize shelters and weapons, aiming to have more resources to face threats. And yes, the devs have confirmed that the characters will have unique story arcs, meaning we will have the chance to carry out missions that will determine the future of each combatant. Well, Project Z Beyond Order is another promising indie project that deserves our full attention. Every now and then, the gaming world is taken by surprise with the arrival of titles that few people noticed, but that exhibit extremely promising constructions. In this case, to exemplify this type of situation, I would like to draw your attention to the beautiful Pioneer, being developed by GFA Games. Pioneer can be described as a game that mixes a single-player campaign, a dynamic open world, and MMORPG elements, generating a differentiated experience that also includes aspects reminiscent of famous survival games. In terms of visuals, the game harks back to the classic S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and its desolate world presents breathtaking scenarios. Moreover, due to the first-person perspective, everything indicates that the level of immersion in the adventure will be incredible. Now, speaking of gameplay, impressions from those who have already tested the game point to a very dynamic and action-packed gameplay with a high level of action.
Now, you will die. The power of the tides will destroy you.
As a bonus, I bring you The Lost Fragment, a new survival horror game that promises to deliver very realistic graphics. The game takes terror to the nth degree by using the Epic Games graphics engine to create an extremely realistic world, where the supernatural also makes its presence felt. With the help of Unreal Engine 5 resources and a lot of talent from the developers, the Japanese developer managed to combine a first-person view with a dashcam style, as we saw earlier in Unrecord, impeccably horrifying scenarios, and equally realistic sound effects. According to the developer, the entire artistic part of Lost Fragment was created by hand, without the use of photogrammetry, and yet it presents an impressive visual. That was the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time.